right now there are a few
Hello?
Skype channels open, and hey, looks like we've got Glenn. How's it going? And then we lost him.
No. Stop it. Come on, join in.
I was so close. We saw him. He was there. Glenn, a.k.a. Ninglendo, of course, as you may know him, is very well known for his amazing Nintendo skills. Hence the name. I mean, come on. Of all the names that could be put into a video game company's name, Glenn has the perfect name. And Nintendo is the perfect fit. Because Ninglendo is probably the best nickname anyone could ever have, I think. And there he is. Now let's hear you. Can we hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, fantastic. Fantastic.
We can hear you. Yay.
Is there any way to tilt your camera down a little bit, see a little more of you?
Yes, yes.
Now go too far.
Just a hair. There it is. That's a nice frame. There it is. Well, shoot.
I don't know about the picture-in-picture. I couldn't get XSplit to work.
That's all right.
But
well,
I can do gameplay straight from my capture card.
Okay, great. All right. Well, when it gets time for that, you go for it. So hopefully we can get Michael up here. But if you've probably been chatting with Michael about your topic today. So you've got 344 people who are watching right now. I would just go for it.
Is Michael not here right now?
He is trying to Skype in here, just for some reason having a tremendous problem.
It's Skype or no Skyping.
Skyper, no Skyping. Exactly. I used that earlier, Dora the Explorer reference. And
yeah, that's pretty bad, but it works.
Hey, Supernautics.
What's the agenda?
Well, last weekend me and Michael had the honor and the privilege to attend the Icon Art Gallery in Fairfield, the Twin Galaxies trading a card event and everything,
Yeah,
and it was phenomenal. If you're a part of the Twin Galaxies community and you missed out, I'm sorry, but you missed out on a really good event.
Boo. I know, I wanted to go.
There was probably the best gamers in the country. Well, not all of them, but a bunch of them. And the funny thing is at a gaming event like that, you would expect people to sit there and play games all day, and I'd never once seen people really play games. Everybody was just enjoying themselves and having a good time and just hanging out. And I got to meet a ton of really cool people there that I've never met before. And, of course, I got to hang out with friends that I only get to see, every maybe like 2 or 3 times a year. So, Dan, are you going to be able to go to the Kong-Off?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to the Kong-Off.
You're going to the Kong-Off, huh?
Oh, yeah. I've been to all of them. I can't miss this one.
This will be my first, actually.
My intention is to be a main competitor, so.
Another thing I want to touch on is the Igby ended. The tournament results are in.
Yep.
And congratulations, Dan.
Oh, thanks.
Being a part of that team that won that. For people that don't know, the Igby was the Internet Gaming Bash of the year. And what happened was they had a bunch of websites and scoreboards come together, gather the best players, and have a tournament. And Donkey Kong Forum ended up winning the tournament. Am I correct?
Yep. Yes, we did. It was fun. A lot of people played.
There was Retro Uprising. Didn't Retro Uprising come in second?
Yes, they did.
And third was Galloping Ghosts. I do believe so.
Yes. Galloping Ghost came in third.
Which is a phenomenal arcade if anybody's in the Chicago area. Over 400 arcade games in that building. And they have the Primal Rage 2, the prototype.
Wow. Yeah, I heard about that. That's
but
cool.
you've probably seen that. Doc had that video where he was showing it off.
Yeah.
The only known PCB in existence.
Yeah, there's
we should have William come in and tell some stories about his experience at the Twin Galaxies card event.
Well, I would be happy to. Okay. Where will I start? Well, not too many people know who I am. I'm kind of a shadowy figure in the whole Twin Galaxies community. What I've been doing for the past 6 years has been attending the Fun Spot tournament. I am a data architect by trade, but I also am a very passionate photographer. So everywhere I travel, I bring my camera with me. So for the past 6 years, I've been collecting photos from places like, the Kong Off 3 event or any of the Fun Spot events, anything like that I go to. And when I knew that this, the trading card event was taking place because it was, word of mouth and being advertised, I've been traveling so much lately, I didn't think I'd be able to go. So it was a very last minute for me to go. And when I decided to go because I found out they wanted to recreate the iconic Life magazine photo of those original competitive gamers, Joel West, Billy Mitchell, Steve Sanders, those guys. And that was an awesome photo that they had. And I knew that if I had the chance, I was going to take that chance and go and make sure that I was the photographer to do that photo.
And William, you did an amazing job too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was the hardest, the toughest conditions and the most important shoot, I guess, that I ever did. And I've taken pictures of tens of thousands of people. I'm a race photographer, so I have, hundreds of thousands of photos of individuals, not that many group shots. So that was quite a different thing for me. But I did my best. So the pictures aren't perfect, but they can't be perfect. A perfect picture would be gray, right? 18% gray is the average of all photos ever taken. So I'm very happy with what I did.
I said, you did an amazing job, and you covered the entire event too.
I worked my butt off. I traveled to Peoria, and because Joel West was coming in from North Carolina, and he would pick me up at the airport. Then we were going to, and we did. We drove to Fairfield from there. He was delayed by about 8 hours, so I was stuck in the airport with nothing to do. I was just, I was so bored. But when we got to Fairfield, people were already heavy into the swing of things. The town was partying. It was so cool. They had the big jazz festival going, and I just couldn't believe it because I thought I was going to be walking into a little farm town or something, and I didn't think that it would be nearly as exciting as it was. It was so cool. So I took photos of people checking out the gallery. I took photos with people wanted their picture with Billy Mitchell or Walter Day or anybody. There's a couple pictures of me. I'm very happy. Joel took my camera and took some shots of me, and they turned out pretty nice. Usually I don't make it into any of the shots. But yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was so much fun. And Walter Day said to me, he took me and he said, William, he calls me William, but most people call me Bill or Data God. He said, he said, this isn't about the competitive games. This isn't about challenges. This isn't about gaming. This is about friendship and bringing people together in the spirit of friendship. That's why he makes these cards. It's to honor people. It's to make people feel good about themselves and to give them a desire to come to this event in order to be with other people. And we all have a shared passion for video games. And some of us have other interests as well, of course, but there's so many genres in video games. There's retro, there's new games, there's classic arcade games, but to see so many people that personally I'm friends with on Facebook, but then to meet people, face to face like that's such a cool experience. And then it's like we're friends that we've known each other for years.
Yep.
It was an amazing experience. All day, all night Friday, I was taking pictures of people just having fun, and then Saturday was a long day as well. I got very happy with the group photo inside the museum at the cake cutting ceremony, and then I got some pretty cool shots. I was on stage. I don't know if you remember, but I was trying to walk very quietly across the stage,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I had some pretty heavy shoes on. Well, I'm a heavy guy, and the stage was creaking like it was about to collapse in one spot. So I was getting quite nervous walking near the front, because it seemed to be like some sort of attachment to extend the stage out a bit. But I still got some beautiful photos.
Yes, you did.
Michael Sroka, he was standing with the other journalists, and I got a really cool shot behind them. So I have 1,000 photos to go through. I've gone through about 15% of them. I've just been
Wow.
focusing on ones people have been asking for. But what I did, because I knew it was important this is such an important thing, I shot RAW. Normally, I'll shoot RAW plus JPEG, but I forgot about that part, so I just shot camera RAW. And that means I have to process every individual photo before I can post it. If I had RAW plus JPEG, then the JPEGs are saved as well. They don't look nearly as good, and I can't, fiddle with all the settings. But the reason those photos look so nice is because of the RAW settings on the camera I was using.
Like I said
So
on that one Facebook thread too, you're pretty much one of the backbones of the entire event.
Well, I thank you so much for saying that, but I'm just a guy that showed up. I mean, there's so many people that just showed up, right? Like, if you look at all the people who brought the arcade cabinets, or people that purchased items that were for sale that would help go towards the next event, they raised a lot of money, and that town had a huge infusion of commerce of all the people that came there for this event, people that rented hotel rooms or motels or ate in the restaurants. Like, it was a big deal for that town, and I think we all played our part. I was very privileged and thankful that the young man who was their official photographer, his camera broke. I won't say how it broke, but
It's like an act of God.
Sabotage.
So I was quite happy that happened. And I feel bad for the guy too, right? But and I'm sure his photos would have been nice, but that's why I brought all my gear with me, because I believe that if you set your sights on something, and if you have enough energy, you will get it done. And I try to be nice to people who I meet, because people might not remember what you say, but they will remember how you make them feel. So I always try to make people feel good about being there, or about being in the shots. And when I'm up on the ladder waiting, I've got 150 people staring at me. That's nerve-wracking. So I just kind of, I chit-chat with the crowd and try to, flirt with the ladies and make them feel good and have everybody smile. And then, George gave me some grief because he said that I only took one photo. He said, "You traveled all this way and you only took one photo. I'm really angry." But, when I said, "Smile, everybody," I had already taken 10 photos. I was just, my mouth just runs. I'm just trying to get the crowd relaxed and getting them ready. So I had a really great time. I highly recommend it to anyone. If you love the sense of community, if you love common interests, this is like going to Comic-Con or something like that, where everyone wants to be there and they're all having fun, but it's more intimate. The people, it's not as big, but it's because it's not as big, you can really have deep conversations with people, or just have, you go to the bar next door and watch people play the guitar and listen to the music. It was a really fun experience. And you're right, there wasn't that many people playing games. I played about 8 games of Robotron, and there's 3 of the top Robotron players in the world there, and I still got the number 2 high score on the machine because they weren't playing.
The only thing I played the entire weekend was a half a game of Double Dragon 2 with Sroka, and a game of 1943 for the NES. That's all I played the entire time.
Where did you play 1943?
Liz had an after party.
Oh yes, I couldn't make it. I was so tired. I still haven't recovered. I
And
was
I'll tell you
dehydrated.
one thing that I learned too playing that game with Sroka is if me and him ever wanted to start a 2-player like world record chasing team, it'd be on because all of our moves were like so in sync with each other. Even like climbing a ladder or just taking a jump, it was pixel perfect on top of each other.
Nice. And what game was that?
Double Dragon 2 for the NES.
Oh, Double Dragon 2. Yes, of course.
It was a fun time. And going back to what you said before about like how when people get their trading cards and their awards, like the smiles, like Sroke even put that in his speech. He said the greatest art that Walter's ever done is the smiles on people's face when they get those trading cards and awards.
Right. It really is an honor. And, I've heard people say, oh, it's not an honor if everyone gets one. Well, it is if you're building a community, and that's his way of honoring people who are taking part in what he's passionate about. I mean, this man has been doing this for 30 years, and it was so cool. There is a man that walked past, I don't know his name, but in one of the movies, probably Chasing Ghosts, Walter mentioned that he was working in the oil industry and he was writing a book with this co-author. And he was fed up one night. He had enough, and he said, "I'm going to go play Space Invaders." Oh, what's that? Oh, sorry. The friend said, "Let's go play Space Invaders," and Walter said, "What's that?" And then he played it, and he never looked back. Right? He left everything
Yep.
and just focused on video games. That guy was there. I got a picture of the two together. It was really a neat story. So to get a card, he did a couple for I do Arcade Culture magazine. I'm not sure if people are familiar with that. It's just it's not a real magazine. Don't tell anyone, but it's just goofy covers, right? Things that happen in the community, or someone that entertains me. Like I find them funny, like Alan Stahl, right? He's hilarious, so I put him on a cover, and I just give it a goofy story, and this the same thing. It makes people laugh. It's funny. I get to use my if they're my photos, then it's my own photography skills at work and my limited Photoshop. So I put out these arcade culture magazines just to try to keep the buzz going in between. Richie Knuckles has the show Arcade Culture, but it's not on every week. So I would do these covers just to try to keep people entertained in the meantime. Or if someone gets a world record, or they've set a new marathon, then I was, taking part in those activities as well. So I love doing that. And so I brought a whole bunch of those covers with me and I gave them out. So I understand what Walter's doing by honoring people with these cards, but I also know that costs a lot of money, and people don't realize. But like all these cards that are printed, the money's coming from somewhere, right? Like it's not.
Yep.
It's not. I have no idea how many cards that man has printed, but I know he's designed well over 1,000.
And it's like
So if
$30 for like a stack of like a couple hundred too.
yeah. So
And look at how many cards we see. It was crazy.
Right. So what for the next event, I think that leading up to it, if Walter can put his posters online and people can purchase them, and that money goes to him and towards the next event or the next round of cards, I think that would be great. It would be a great way for all the people who have been honored by him to not pay it back, because I don't like that word, but to share and to help him too, right? To help him continue what he loves doing. And that's friendship.
Oh, yeah. Playing some Mega Man 2 tonight before the old Moon Patrol.
Mega Man 2.
Mega Man 2, one of my favorite NES games of all time. But I think it's on a lot of people's favorite lists. Because it's a damn good game. I got an interesting story to tell. About the weirdest breakfast that I ever had. And it was during the card event. So, I don't even know where to begin. we had like an hour and roughly an hour and a half to kill before the photo shoot for that reenactment. And so we all had the idea to go to breakfast at the 2nd Street Cafe in Ottumwa. And it was me and Liz Leffler, John Hunter, Ken House, his old lady Tina, and Steve Sanders.
Don't say old lady. Come on, man. Say
I don't know.
beautiful
That's
young bride.
His wonderful woman.
Yes,
there you go.
She is a wonderful person. She is a wonderful person. And it was and Steve Sanders' 2 kids. So we get there, and there's Billy Mitchell and Steve having breakfast. So we pulled up a couple seats next to them, and we were talking to them. Yeah. 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 I don't know. I think once I did that, it kind of canceled out my call.
I can still hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, back to my story. So we get there, and there's Billy and everything, and we sit next to Billy, and there's this guy behind us in the booth. And, yeah, I cut my video out on the...
Were you playing Mega Man?
Yeah.
I can still see it flashing.
But now I'm cut out. Oh, never mind. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. So we were at the booth, and the guy behind us was at the booth, and he starts talking to us, and he knows, like, I guess he's like a historian or something, and he knew about the original Life magazine. And we like pointed out to him, like, you know, there's Billy and Steve, they were in the original photo. And everything's normal. And then his wife comes around the back, and he like she's like, "What are you doing?" And he calls her like a battle axe, which I've heard people call their wives that before, and it's usually no big deal. It's just like a joking around thing. And she immediately flips out at the guy and like starts cussing and everything else, and tells the guy that she has his credit card and his money, and she walks away. And the guy like starts talking to us again, and like 5 minutes later she comes back, and she's like furious and starts saying like, "You're gonna humiliate me in public," and everything. And all of us had like a blank expression on her face, because it's like you're in the middle of like a pretty nice restaurant, and you're with a bunch of gaming legends, and these 2 couples are like fighting at this table. And she starts calling them drunk, and I didn't know that he had been drinking until I like looked over and seen a little bit closer, but the guy like snuck this huge bottle of whiskey into this restaurant.
And this is
he's
for
like,
breakfast.
And this is 10 o'clock in the morning. And like this dude's bottle's like almost gone, and it's like a 1.75 bottle, like a big bottle. And then that's when I could kind of tell that he'd been drinking a lot. But he like did a good job of like hiding it. And at this point, Lonnie McDonald comes into the restaurant, like at the tail end of it. And he comes into the restaurant when it's like mass chaos. and then all of a sudden, like the owner of the restaurant comes in and like tries to ask the guy to like go quietly and like leave. And he won't leave, of course. So then they call the cops, and the cops come in and pretty much drag him out. And that was my breakfast with Billy Mitchell and Steve Sanders. And like the first time I got to meet, like actually sit down and talk to those 2 was at breakfast while watching a dude get arrested.
Should have put him in the new recreation with the police and the handcuffs.
Like have him photobomb.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Have like in the back while we're all standing by the arcade games, you see him being hauled off to jail.
Yeah.
Did you see the Fix It Felix photobomb?
Yes, I did.
I thought those were
Ooh.
pretty cute.
Those were pretty great, to be honest. That was a good idea too. That was
Yeah,
like
that
that was like a last second idea too.
Rudy,
Well,
would you mind switching over to TG Live 6, 7, or 8? Because one is, we're holding one right now for Michael. Okay?
Can Mike get in?
Thanks, buddy.
He was in, but he didn't have video, I don't think. Let me see.
I don't know I can't remember his real name, but Riddick Rick on Facebook, he does the cover art and everything. And that was his cabinet, and
Really?
he when we were doing the recreation photo, or sorry, the big giant group photo, right? I mean, it was in the same spot in the same cabinet. So yeah, that the main photo, he wanted. He wasn't sure if he would get in trouble or not. Like he just seemed nervous about putting. I go, that would have been awesome. No one would have noticed. And then later on, like, wait, look at that cabinet, right? I think that'd be hilarious. So, so then we when he told me that, well, bring it in closer. We'll do some special shots just for that. So I've got some really nice ones I've done. And then I got a special one, just him and Walter and the cheerleaders with his cabinet.
That's my game.
Oh yeah.
So I'm relatively new to Settle It on the Screen. It sounds like it's a competitive type show.
Yeah, we're gonna have Essel on in a little bit. Me and him are gonna play back and forth on some Moon Patrol. That's the game that he's learning right now. And for those that aren't familiar with Essel, he is a multiple world record holder. He's got world records on consoles, arcade games. He just did the Kicker Marathon, where he played over 50 hours.
Wow.
And he is learning Moon Patrol at the time, which I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do on Moon Patrol. Give him, a couple more weeks or maybe a month or two of practice.
Did he play Kicker on a cabinet, or was it a console game?
Cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on Team DKF. So.
Yep. The group that won the Igby. That's the group that I was rooting for the most because most of my friends were on that team.
Yeah, I got to play games that drive you crazy.
Like Anteater?
Yeah.
And Pepper 2.
Yep.
This is Mega Man 2, Don Juan. I'm playing it on the difficult mode, which is the Japanese regular mode. They didn't have a difficulty option in Japan. You just played it on what we call the difficult mode. We'll use this. So how was after the ceremony? I missed everyone going out to get drinks and everything. I know George played some songs at the bar.
What are you trying to do there, Justin?
Well, I was so hot in that suit, in those behind or underneath those lights, and it's a lot warmer in Ottumwa than it is in Ottawa, where I'm from. So I wasn't quite used to the heat, and I got a bit dehydrated, so I didn't feel like going anywhere. So Joel and I went back to the hotel room and just got changed and took our time. And by the time we got back we went to the bar where George was playing. It was his last song. So Joel goes, "Woohoo, we're here right in time." It was loud. I mean, he's good, but it was I'm not into the bar scene, right? I'm not just never was into the super loud and trying to yell at people to talk to them. So we just went and hung out in the park, and then got late and had a big day the next day, so we just hit the hay. Of course, at the ceremony, I was one of the last people to get my award, and Walter didn't have it ready. So, because some of them disappeared because they were apparently sticking to each other. So some people, if they open up their frames, they might get someone else's award in there too.
Which happened
So I
too.
got, yeah. So I have a Billy Mitchell one. So I put that in my bed, took a nice picture of him sleeping with me. But it was a fun time. It was, it wasn't a vacation for me. It was definitely a working weekend. But that's the kind of work that I just thrive for. I love it, and I love being able to capture people, capture their expressions, capture them doing what they love doing, which talking to people they admire, or just people that they're really good friends, and I love capturing that and sharing it.
You did a really great job of capturing the Kong off too.
Oh, thank you very much. That's the Kong off poster. If I had another one, I would have brought it and just to show people. But I didn't want to show off any of my work and take anything away from what Walter was doing. Right? I'm not a showboat. I don't want to ride on anyone's coattails. But I did have a poster. I gave it to Billy Mitchell. But that Kong off poster, if you ever get a chance to see one, that I printed it on metallic paper, so any of the highlights in the photo, because it's all black and white. They look pearlescent. It's a beautiful print. It's not poster. It's not a piece of paper you stick on a wall. It's it's an art print that really should be mounted. So I printed off those. I sell them on my Created website, but I can't see people wanting to buy one unless they were in the photo, right? Because it's like, or unless you're friends with someone. But I plan on the next event I go to, I will bring some with me and see if people are interested in them. It's pricey stuff though, because it is printed on art quality paper.
Yeah.
But now what I did this time, I went to Costco and I printed off some smaller versions of Alan Stahl, the special limited edition. I'm not sure if you saw any of those, but he was complaining on Facebook, "Hey, make my picture bigger," because it was teeny tiny in the big collage. So I said, "How's this one?" And he fills the frame almost, right? So people loved it. They were taking it. They were getting their pictures taken beside it. Billy Mitchell and Walters or Mark Hoff actually stuck it on the wall, and then everyone got their picture taken with it, giving it a thumbs down because he's Australian. So I couldn't believe how much of a hit that was. So I'll definitely print off a whole bunch of stuff like that and bring it and donate it to the next event, let them auction it off. So
I don't even know how many of the Donkey Kong players used the photos that you took during that event as their profile pictures.
That is a huge compliment. When I see that, I was like, well, that's so cool.
Like Ethan, he's had his up
yeah,
for like ever.
Yeah. So I did two versions of the poster. The first one, I was new at making a poster, so I had it all sized out, and then my friend Steve Grunberger from Australia said, you need the marquee at the top. So I just added it to the top, which made the poster longer, which made it unframeable, because now it was a non-standard size. So I for version 2, I went and rearranged some of the photos, removed ones that I only put them there because, I liked the person as opposed to it being a good photo. So then I had some more, I threw in some bigger versions of, I believe, Mitchell Elliott and a couple like that. And it's now a standard size, so it can be easily framed at Walmart for $10.
That was one person I really liked. I really had, really enjoyed meeting, was Mitch. Because like you said earlier, is like we converse on the forums and we talk on Facebook and we watch each other's streams, and it's like you already know them, but you've never met them, but you're pretty good friends with.
Yeah. Now I met Joel West in person in Denver at the Kong Off, but. So that was my experience with him. I was like, wow, I finally get to meet you in person. So we've been best friends ever since. And I was telling him when he dropped me off the airport, I feel like I've known you for 20 years because our sense of humor is so similar. We just get along so well. But Mitchell Elliott, he and here I am. I always call people by their full name because that's how I read it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. But he's a lot bigger than I remember. I remember meeting him in Denver, and I was just overwhelmed with how many people were there. And he came up to me and, oh, hi, it's me. I was like, oh, hi. And I didn't didn't click who it was, and then so this time I made up for that, and we all went for lunch on Sunday at a Chinese buffet, so it was great. But boy, he's a tall person.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that he's a football player.
Yeah.
You could.
Billy Mitchell's tall too, because I know he's tall, but then I said, give me your thumb. I want to see how big that thumb is because it's huge in all the photos, right? And I'm like, wow, it's a lot bigger than my thumb, and I know I've got pretty big hands, so
His thumb
it's
is
a
like
lot
the
of fun.
Gene Simmons tongue,
Yes, that's hilarious.
pretty
Um,
much.
it was a lot of fun, and Facebook, any social media, you can get into fights with people over the stupidest things. And there was a person that I was having a falling out with, but as soon as we saw each other, that all just washed away. That's just nonsense on the internet. Like we buried the hatchet, we made our peace, we had a great time together. That's what was so special about this event. No drama, no
Yep.
gossip, no drama, none of the nonsense. It was just people having fun, and people wanting to spend time viewing Walter's beautiful works of art.
And
And
just
and when I walked
soaking it
in that
all in.
when I walked in that gallery, that's what I thought. Wow, this is art. This isn't just a, a bunch of cards. There was the massive wall of cards. Like, you stood in front of it. That thing
Yeah.
is like the monolith from 2001.
Yes, it is. I couldn't believe it. Like, I overheard somebody talking about it at the event, and he had the perfect analogy. It's like someone loaded up a shotgun full of Walter's cards and just shot it at the wall.
Yeah. Well, he had two interns, sticking stuff on there for days and days and days.
Oh my God! And I that's another thing I thought of, like those two guys that put all those cards together like that, and then back down.
Yep. Yep.
God bless
But
those guys.
oh, for sure. And it wasn't just that one giant wall. The whole front of the whole storefront was
Yep.
covered in cards. And they had even drawn the Space Invader characters on the backs of some of the arcade machines. They did it in 8-bit graphics with cards and no cards. It was really cool.
Oh man. Yeah, there was that one room where they had like some arcade games like Donkey Kong and stuff, but like nobody like even cared to play a game.
Yeah. I wanted to, but I didn't want to miss any photos.
I just didn't want to like take time away from like meeting everyone.
Yeah. And like, I wanted to meet you, but I didn't. I think we crossed paths, but I didn't get to talk with you. I mean, there was just so many people there,
Yeah,
and
there was. And so many things going on at one time.
even I was on stage in the back, just waiting to take pictures of people, and they had all the journalists on stage, including Michael Sroka, and I wasn't sure if it was even him until I heard his voice. I thought, oh, wait a minute, that is him.
You know,
But I just waved and said hi. Right? I couldn't even have a conversation. But it was a great time.
last level before the Wily stages.
So I guess nobody's coming in to join us. This is our new show. We're the new dual co-hosts.
Yep, I guess Mike has the day off or something. He can't get his Skype to work.
It
Which
was
is
working
weird.
fine. I Skyped
here.
him at 9:30. Yeah, hey Rudy. I Skyped him at 5:30 or 6, whatever, 9:30. I mean, and the video was working and everything. Here, the video just isn't working for me.
Maybe, Mike, if you're listening, try calling back in and see if we can add you to the group again.
He tried Skyping me earlier, but it didn't go through.
Do Airman.
Oh, somebody's in.
Let's go. Wily stages. So far, all the bosses with no deaths. See if we can get a no death run on this. He's got the Wily stages. There's only like 2 or 3 parts coming up that kind of scare me. But I think we should be able to pull through. So do you have any history with the Nintendo Entertainment System, or just mostly arcade?
Me?
Yeah.
I almost failed every grade in high school because of Nintendo. uh, I used to babysit. I was probably 12. Every dollar I ever earned went to buy a Nintendo game. They're about $40 a cartridge.
Yep.
I was scrawny at one point because my mom would give me lunch money, but nope, that just went in my pocket for Nintendo games. I think in 1985 is when I bought my first NES, and
Nice.
I played them. I loved them. It was so cool. You had to map out things with a pencil and paper. You couldn't, there was no map auto drawing or anything like that. And I still have some of those maps, so I have
still
great
have
memories
mine.
of it.
One of the maps I still have is my Metroid map.
I'm sorry, I
Oh,
don't
yes,
recognize anybody on Skype. Will you all?
I am Ninglendo, and this is William,
I'm Data God.
also known as the Data God. We are doing Settle It on the Screen, and you're watching me play Mega Man 2.
Nice. Didn't really follow Mega Man 2.
Didn't? It's a classic. I recommend it to anybody that plays Nintendo games, at least.
Used to have Nintendo. Played a lot of games, but never Mega Man.
That's the one thing, though, is if you want to get back into Nintendo, the market has skyrocketed for games. They're getting absolutely ridiculous for prices.
I bet. But in the meantime, I have different kind of games here. Usually just Xbox and PS3.
So what
I
games
had
do you normally play?
Just right now I'm playing some Mortal Kombat.
Nice. I have
Or the
that on the
PS3.
PC. I have that on the PS, or not the PS3, but the PC. I got it off Steam when they had one of those huge sales.
I was looking to challenge or somebody that Mario that was here earlier, but I guess he couldn't really do it, so.
Oh, I messed that jump all up.
Let's see. It's gonna be time.
I sold all my NES games, but I kept Rambo.
Oh, that was a poor decision. Or
No,
do
it
you
was
like
great
that game?
because at the time I liked it because there was a way to make sure that his girlfriend didn't die, and it was very romantic. It was,
And it was
Rambo
very
3, I guess. it was pretty funny.
Wonder
She
who's
dies
playing
on
on
the
the
beach
UGM.
at one point.
What's that?
Wonder who's playing on the UGM.
I am. Who's playing on the UGM? It's just me. I think you're seeing my gameplay, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess whoever's playing Mega Man.
Yeah, that would be me.
Okay. This is weird. We can't see you either.
Yeah, I was having problems with XSplit earlier and Skype. Like, I could get it to recognize everything, but I couldn't do the picture-in-picture once I tried connecting to a call. It would instantly, shut my Skype down. Oh my God.
I was only supposed to be on here for 15 minutes anyway. I didn't mean to keep talking through the whole show, but I'm going to have to get going.
Okay, maybe we
I've got a
can
lot
bring Essel in.
I have no idea except for what's going on. It says settling it.
Settling on the Screen was the old Twin Galaxies podcast.
Oh.
From the old days, since 2007, Mike has been doing the show. He should be on right now, but he's been having problems with Skype as well.
Huh.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, and thanks for listening to my experiences over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Give me a call, Dad God, when you get a chance.
fill up my third tank. Hopefully I don't die up here, otherwise I just wasted that power up.
I wonder who was in 4 and left their cam open.
I do not know. But if Essel is here, he should probably call into TG or TG Live 1.
That's how they normally do it. They either have people on 1 or 2.
I'm on 2 right now, so you'd have to be on 1.
Or whatever. They could choose whatever cameras they
We're working on it, guys. Telebro, we're working on it. Just leave TG Live 1 open now and TG Live 6. But if anyone wants to call in on 3 or 5, that's fine.
Okay. Thanks, Ander. Now this is the one part that I might die at. This
Looks
damn
kinda
boss
tough.
here.
Hey, it's a version of Mario. Oh shoot! Dragon on the run.
Here we go. Here we go. Now let's see if I can dodge these fireballs. No! No!
That sucks.
First life. Oh,
It looks
that's
like
not good either.
It looks like you're throwing a bunch of rocks at him.
Yeah, I was throwing the boomerang that I got from Quickman, which is only useful that part and another upcoming boss battle.
Is there a way like to throw boomerangs at him while you're running all the way to the end?
Once you throw the boomerang, it just kind of commits to its trajectory. You can't hit him till you get to that furthest point away from him, where the screen stops. Yeah, you can't hit him unless you get to the end of that little gauntlet of theirs, because you won't take any damage until that point.
The first time I ever heard about Mega Man was when I first played Marvel vs. Capcom.
Nice. That's a great game. First time I ever heard of Mega Man was late 80s. It was one of the games my cousins saved up. Oh, crap, I died again. One of the games my cousins saved up for their paper route.
Never mind, wasn't he in the show called
Captain N in the Game
Yeah,
Master?
yeah. It was that little. It was kind of short in the show.
Yep. That would have
It
been
was
him.
green and blue, I believe.
And he talked like a raspy, like, mob boss.
Yeah. That's when I first seen him. Welcome back, Cam 4.
Yeah, sorry, I had to help my son with a video game.
Nice. Now let's see if I can do this, what we like to call in the community, the correct way. All right, let's...
Try not to disturb you.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like I'm doing anything amazing here. I'm just running through the game.
I wanted a TG16. Never did have one.
Oh, that's a great system, too.
I don't believe I have one now still. I've been looking for one. Never found one. The only thing I've ever regretted that I didn't buy at a thrift store when I had a chance was a bunch of Vectrex games.
Oh, I love Berserk on the Vectrex. That's
kind of easy.
I just didn't know how much
it's easy if you time the jumps right, which I didn't do the first time. Obviously, you got hit with that fireball.
You would think the dragon would have more things to do. But obviously nothing.
I didn't
It's
know
kind
if
of
they
a
were
rhythm to that guy.
Rhythm of the night.
Rhythm of the night. Oh, what do I want to fill up? What's the most important one? I'd say one, probably. We have that one really nasty boss battle coming up.
Really, that quick? Another boss battle?
Yep, we're at the final stages of the game.
Really?
Yep. I kind of blew through the first, like, 8 robot masters.
Kind of like how you do in Mario.
Kind of.
You choose to go through the levels, or you could get there quicker.
Plus, it helped I didn't fail at all for those first 8 levels.
Now, I
Hey,
remember
Michael.
as a kid playing Mario, and at one point, I just wanted to see just how far or how long I could get extra lives. And after getting the princess and starting the game all over again constantly, at some point I had those like cloud lives, and then it just kind of shifted. It kind of changed. I was like, "Whoa, what is going on here? This is something that I never seen before." And of course, later on in life, they had that. They had all this on YouTube that you could go through extra stages.
Yep.
But I never
I
knew
think-
that as a kid.
I think things like YouTube and Twitch have really greatly, like, helped out competition, where people can post speed runs and high scores, and
All right.
and it makes people interested into playing those games. Because I'm playing Zookeeper right now because I watched Ross play it, and I
Oh,
Get a shot here.
and then I got a 1,000,000 point jump, and then after that I kind of got addicted to it.
You get addicted to everything, Glenn.
I do. Hey, there's Sroka.
You're like, who is it?
Who are you?
don't challenge Jace Hall into Zookeeper
Why not?
because he'll cry in his pants.
You cannot beat me.
That's fine. We don't
He'll
need
kill
to see.
screen you.
Well,
What?
there's the other hosts of the show, Mike and Nick.
Hi. Welcome, everybody, or I guess welcome us.
Welcome.
to
What's
your
up, Mike?
doom.
The phones are working.
Hey, look at that! Only an hour in. You know
That's okay. Hey. Oh,
Go,
So glad
go
we're
clap.
up.
Go clap.
assuming you started the show, right?
What's that?
You started the show, right?
Yeah, I had no idea I was starting the show, but
Oh,
we already
okay.
got passed with Data God.
Okay.
I'm just finishing up the old Mega Man 2.
Cool. Obviously, I'm a little scrambled. Snell will be joining us. What did you guys talk about, real quick, just so I don't kind of.
Just
Talk
pretty
about
much
the
the
same.
event.
Someone
Oh,
went
ow,
robot.
ow.
Got some news. Walter's going to be presenting here every week from the
That's
show.
pretty funny.
You might want to hang up and call back so you can get off the robot voice, so it'll be fixed.
I like the robot voice.
The robot voice was pretty damn awesome.
Mike, say something real quick.
Are we the robot voice?
That is awesome.
The way to solve it is you just hang up and then call right back.
Right.
We will do that.
I'm sorry. That's awesome. That is awesome. Dude, that's
Are we
the way you
going
want to do the
sound
show.
like a robot?
Quick, before you sign out, say coins detected in pocket.
Yeah, Michael, it's
Okay. I will sign out and try again.
Coin detected in pocket.
A little berserk.
Little impossible mission sound effects there. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough game, too.
Yeah, I love that game.
Oh, is this? No, this is the easier boss.
Where did he go? There he is.
It's the next boss that really sucks.
So do we sound like robots? Sorry, Nick.
That's all right.
Good.
All
No,
right.
you sound okay.
Cool.
More robots?
Oh. So welcome everybody, I guess, back to Settle Down the Screen. I don't know, did you do a proper intro, Glenn, or no?
Well, you can do that right now.
That Bob Barker.
I am Michael Sroka here along with Nick Houslander, Glen Updike, and we've already had our first guest. And welcome everybody else to the Gamer Chat. Basically, this is kind of the return of Settle Down the Screen, and for some of you who do know, Settle Down the Screen, it's kind of our progression of our show from the Twin Galaxies show, the Twin Galaxies podcast. And the whole purpose of our show is to inform and entertain you about the world of competitive gaming. That's what we're here to do. And we all know the growing pains of Twin Galaxies the past few years, especially for many of you tuning in who are arcade and classic console gaming. Kind of first part to this channel as we're joining here with Jason Hall's former channel, Elite Lounge, kind of the new, but it is the new Twin Galaxies Live. I'm sorry, I am a little frazzled because I was so excited to talk about the trading card thing that you guys have already talked about that, so I'm kind of at a loss. Glenn, is our other guest going to be joining us soon?
Yeah, he should be. Is he in the chat right now?
We'll find out.
Because you could just have him sign on. I'm almost done with Mega Man, so. Oh man, I missed it. Jump again, damn.
You call yourself a world record holder.
Well, not on this game. And there's plenty of other games.
Catch you playing some Mega Man, and I remember myself playing Mega Man, and it definitely didn't look like that. So that was pretty impressive stuff, man.
Well, thank you. I'm using a lot of the wimpy ways through some of the jumps and stuff. Like that was a wimpy way.
Whatever.
But oh well.
No.
You're using Game Genie, right?
Yeah, of course. That
Were you trying to Skype in?
I don't ever play without Game Genie.
We are.
Were you trying to Skype in?
Yes. Estelle is the almost a million points on Donkey Kong. He's supposed to join us, and one of my favorite games. He's the world record holder on Galactic Attack for the Sega Saturn. And if you need a reason to own a Sega Saturn, it's to play Galactic Attack, and maybe own a copy of NHL All-Star Hockey, so you can play 6-on-6. Most unplayable game out there.
You actually can't play it.
No, I bought a Sega Saturn for the sole purpose of 12 people playing on one console of playing a hockey game, and you can't even play the hockey game one-on-one.
The Madden on there is not quite as bad. It's pretty horrible, but I believe you can do 4-on-4, and it's kind of playable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if it was kind of playable.
It's like, was it Madden 97 or something like that?
Yeah, we played 97.
It was
yeah.
better than the hockey game. That's all I remember.
Well, it was still.
You actually could do something.
Yeah, it was still more like the current Maddens. So it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the.
I mean, not current Maddens. Yeah, exactly.
But I remember.
Hey, Mike. Speaking of hockey, that would be a great idea. With the ESPN, maybe me and you could do a side-by-side and see who gets the highest blowout one day. That'd be cool.
How about this?
Could be.
ESPN, me and you, Rudy. Jordan versus Bird, baby.
I'm down.
One-on-one.
Now that I understand how to do it.
No,
Jordan
you versus
versus
me,
Bird?
man.
No, man.
No.
Dr. J versus Larry Bird.
Yeah,
That broken game.
our guest is trying to get in. He's trying to get into one of the channels, and I had some. I know Glenn, you had some questions for him. Did you guys talk about any? You guys, I'm assuming you guys talked about some of the pictures.
Yeah.
That Bill took? Okay. All right. Man. Oh, well. I'll just make one more comment. The picture he took of the journalists from behind, he needed to be in that one. Unfortunately, he was taking the pictures. There's a nice silhouette from behind the stage of us. If you guys go on Facebook, you probably see it already. If you check out the icon, Walter Day. I can't think of the correct title right now, but that was the one thing I did want to talk to him about.
And we did actually talk about that picture.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because he
Oh,
said
see?
that was one of his favorites, and I messed that all up.
Well, I think the more we talk to you, the worse you get at that game.
I know. I'm not bad at this game, no matter how much you talk to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Glenn, what is your
I still beat it without dying. I've only lost 2 lives, and it was on that stupid dragon boss.
Hey there, guys. I called back in if you want to have a quick chat about my trip and the photos.
Hey, Bill.
How are you doing?
Good. So, I mean, I'm afraid to ask any questions because you guys probably went over it. There's some breaking stuff in the studio. Bill, did you get an award? Did you get an award? You got it at the very end of the ceremony, didn't you?
Yeah, at the very, very end, and when I thought that Walter had forgotten and I had a tear in my eye, he said, "We can't forget about Data God."
Yeah,
so that was sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you were there to capture it that way. To be honest with you, a lot of times I go to these things for the past 3 years, and I always have a video camera on my shoulder, just trying to get something. And this event and the previous event this year, I kind of kept it at home, but it is so important to do it, you know. And I was glad that you were there to take the pictures. That was so awesome because I didn't have the video camera on my shoulder the whole weekend. I puddle jumped from airport to airport to get there, and I just wasn't in the mood to be doing it. But I'm so glad. Those photos are awesome. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy that I had to pack light because I had to do a puddle jump as well, different flights, and so I didn't bring the big lenses that I have. But the ones I brought, I think they worked fine. I was quite happy with them.
Yeah, you definitely captured the moment of the social part of gaming as it is, and I kind of joked on Facebook a few weeks about the trading card event as that. I mean, there was some parties, there was a couple arcade machines, but this event really had very little gaming involved. But it was still a lot of fun, you know.
Oh man.
So what I told the folks earlier when I was just trying to fill the airtime, they did have an official photographer. I didn't catch his name, but I was talking with him for a while, and his camera had a malfunction. So I was very happy to have made it clear to everyone who would listen that I brought my camera and I'm more than willing to take the photos, especially the recreation photo. Because when I heard about that last week, that's when I decided, you know what, I gotta drop everything and book my tickets now. So I got some, yeah. I got an amazing deal on the flights and the hotel and everything, and so I was able to come, and I have about 900 more photos that I have to process. So,
jeez.
Yeah.
Film, so right? You took film, didn't you?
No. It's mercury glass frame.
It costs him 4 times the amount in film than it did.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with me and Nick here, you know, this show is always about fun. We're always lighthearted, and we're never, because once you're too serious, you know what? Then we make fun of you and make fun of ourselves, but it's just not as fun because we're here to talk about gaming, which is entertainment. We're here to entertain you more than anything. So we're glad you joined us in, or whoever's still sticking around. I hope Glenn didn't bore you to death.
No, he was great.
I'm just joking. Come on.
Whenever you ever hung out with me and not had a good time.
Exactly my point. That's why everyone should be here every Friday night.
Approximately 11 o'clock.
Well, no, Glenn was here at 10 o'clock.
I was also telling him about me and you playing Double Dragon 2 and how so on both of our moves were.
Oh yeah.
Pixel perfect.
Yeah. Me and Glenn played around 1 a.m. Played Double Dragon on like a 116-inch projection screen or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh, I'm trying to get in the chat here, but I can't seem to do that either.
It's a great night of internet connectivity here. Settle it on the screen studios.
It's okay. Twin Galaxies. So, most of our show will talk about at some point the controversy, the way things will evolve with the submissions, hopefully returning at some point. It's going to be, we're going to get back to competing once again, going for a high score.
Going for
Yeah, people are always competing.
You know what I've considered doing?
Hmm.
Like, I haven't told anybody this, but I kind of want to do a double rollover on Life Force. And I did the math. It'd be like 30 to 34 hours. But now that I know that after you hit 100 lives, you don't get any, or I mean, after you hit 10 million, you don't get any more lives, I'll play it a lot more, like, just straight through. Zero, like, break time.
Just like Toss.
Man.
Yep, zero break time, just sit there and do it.
Now, do you think when they made Life Force, they were like, you hit 10 million, obviously, no more lives, you don't need more lives? Or do you think the programmer...
It's a programming glitch.
Stop programming, guys. Like, we do not need to keep going.
I mean, that's how I feel with like some of the arcade games that are like that, like Galaga.
Oh.
A Galaga gives you a live every 70,000, but then once you hit 1,000,000 points, it doesn't give you any more free lives.
They
So
were sick of programming.
yeah,
No one's going to play this.
It's kind of like Konami codes are like funky, or I mean, Konami games are funky. It's like Contra, it maxes out at like 5 million, whatever. It just
6,500,000 and something.
Yeah, I've done it before. I've done the max.
6,533 something.
But it's a programming bug, or it's like it ran out of memory and it can't do anymore with the score.
I think it's lazy.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, you're still here, right? I don't see your video.
Still there?
Maybe he stepped away. Oh man, because I don't know. Did you guys talk about
I'm
his?
here. I'm here.
Oh, cool.
It doesn't matter what we talked about before. You just go ahead and ask your questions.
Oh, I'm gonna answer. We're gonna go get the recording and answer every question.
We're kind of doing a review. Maybe some people just
Yeah.
joined us at 11. I think we got
I had a few questions about your arcade culture magazines. Now,
Sure.
Tell everybody a little bit just about how you started doing that.
Okay, it was a couple of years ago. Richie Knuckles, I met him at one of the Fun Spot tournaments, and he was there with his traveling show, which was called Arcade Culture, which is Arcade Culture. And I thought it would be kind of a funny thing to put my face on a cover of a fake magazine and send it to him, and he got a kick out of that. So then every week that he had a show, I would, I'd try to find out who the guests were, and I would make fake magazine covers of them and just have silly titles, and it just kind of morphed out of that into its own beast now. And I think I have about 55 or 60 covers that I've done over the years.
That's awesome, and
It's
they're definitely fun too because you do a lighthearted job about it.
Right, and that's
you look at them.
That's the whole thing, is just, bring some humor to the scene. I mean, there's so much drama lately, or at the time, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna have fun, and hopefully make people feel good about themselves. And that's what I was saying. That's what Walter does with his card sets and his posters. It's about people making other people feel good, and to increase just friendship throughout the whole community. So that's what I do with my covers.
That's awesome. That's part of the reason I kind of wanted to have you on the show. I've been seeing those covers for, a few years now, just here and there, and it's like, somebody else kind of like us doing a show, or we kind of,
Well, it is. We do. Obviously, we appreciate it. I think a lot of people appreciate it. Because, like you said, there always is so much drama. Which really, there's drama. Like, it's the minority. Most of it is people just having fun, and most of it isn't
like this gentleman with his bum on the screen there. That's a lot of fun right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Woo! You fucking pussies! This sucks! Fuck you!
Is that Rocky Rose?
No,
I
that's
think
friggin' Ryan Atari and television.
He's got a hairy butt.
Well, see that's who we
that
bring
was
out. Huh?
really creepy.
Guess-
That was really creepy.
That's the audience we bring out to our concert.
Yeah, that's what you see. At least,
Oh.
yeah, okay.
At least we're getting something, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
next week will be a few girls doing that.
One sec, guys. I'm gonna set it up for Moon Patrol.
You just
I
got
thought we
Moon.
just saw Patrol.
Was that the intro for the Moon Patrol? I mean, what?
Yes, it was
Right
for
now,
the
I think-
moon off.
Like,
You think they caught us?
no.
The moon, Alice.
There's a learning curve, everybody. Doing live too.
You know, I mean, really though, we talk about what just happened on TG Live 5. I mean, I've definitely seen better.
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
that
oh,
was
yeah.
all right. I mean, I know what he was trying to do. I assume that was a he. But I know what he was trying to do there. He was successful.
we got our attention.
Yeah, no, he definitely did, which is what
I'll bring
Got-
chicken.
he was
Yeah.
going for. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was all right. I give it like a 6 out of 10.
Hey, he got it. Yeah. He got us cracking.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Shock.
It's not what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah. It's,
Oh man. Maybe that's what he thought of your magazine covers. You know.
Well, speaking of magazine covers, there was one that caused quite a bit of controversy that caused the whole arcade culture magazine empire to collapse for a couple days.
Man.
Rudy's laughing. Rudy knows all about it. I'm an equal opportunity employer, right? And I think that, I don't want to have a clique of only the same people's faces on my magazines. I get a little bored of that, and I know I have Joel West on there many, many times, but this time I said, let's pick
I love
Rudy.
that greasy hair guy.
I said, let's put Rudy on the cover. So I refer to the whole incident as Rudygate because it was such a scandal. It was unbelievable. Do you know what I did? You know the crime of the century that I committed? I put a man's face on the magazine, a fake magazine.
A fake
That was it.
magazine cover.
A fake
Man.
magazine. I had people calling me, chewing me out. I had hate mail. I had people attacking my Facebook page, just spewing their hatred. It was unreal because I dared to put a man's face on a fake magazine. It was so ridiculous. People were boycotting it. People were clearing. They're saying we need to boycott this.
How can you
demand
boycott
people
a fake magazine?
because they're idiots, really, when it comes down to it. They someone told them that someone came on. They were, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. It is just foolish, So,
But that was so outrageous. Did you put Rudy Freddie and then the ex-president question mark?
you turn your mic up just a little bit.
yeah, I couldn't hear
Yeah, I
that.
can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear us?
Oh,
Okay.
really?
You can hear you,
Now
can't
you
hear
can.
him. There you go.
Oh, you can hear Nick.
No, did you write like Rudy next president question mark? I mean, what is that?
I tell you what I wrote. You want to hear what I wrote? Oh, it's out of memory. I wrote Rudy predicts
it.
like something. Rudy predicts the future, right? Like Rudy, is he a man or a Rudy? Do you remember what the title said? Anyway, he predicted that Twin
I can
Galaxies
give you
would be
the
sold on
cover.
eBay.
The next Walter? Did
You want the
write
cover?
that?
No?
Yeah, post it up.
Next suit.
Where am I going to put it?
Madman or visionary? Rudy predicts Twin Galaxies sold on eBay, right? Because this was supposed to be a late cover from a year ago, and Twin Galaxies was sold, right? So he had predicted that it was sold on eBay. So that was it. And then that he got the Slaughterhouse record. That was it. That was so controversial.
Well,
It's tough. I mean, when you're producing a fake magazine, I mean, it really is. It's difficult. You do have to deal with a lot of different things.
you could do a lot of critics too.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
I mean, the critics are always getting down on you for maybe not doing your research, or if you're not sourcing it
I know.
correctly.
Yeah, I actually come to think of it about the trading card event. For the few that were there, I don't know if you guys talked about this. I gave Walter his own trading card, and I called it a bootleg trading card because I was parodying his own cards. And
Tops or
It was, or even Twin Galaxies. It wasn't an official card. It was actually a business card shape. So it was just like a business card is what I printed it on.
Oh, okay.
I printed 100 glossy, and on the back, some of the description is true. Some of the description is, Walter is the guy who started all this. He's good for him. And then in the middle of it, in Nick's opinion, it's all true. But we talked about how he loves soup. Now, everybody does like soup. I don't know about if he really loves soup. But where that came from is all made up. And I actually got a Facebook message going, "Why would you put that on a card?" I'm like, it's a parody card. It's supposed to be fun. The whole soup thing is actually me and Nick in 2010. We never met Walter. We're going to see him. And it's like 1 o'clock in the middle of the night driving through Iowa in the middle of February. And
This is a good idea.
And I don't know where the subject came up that Walter Day loves soup. And ever since then,
no idea.
we told Walter our stories that we made up about him and stuff like that. But I just couldn't believe that somebody actually Facebook messaged me the other day. Why would you put that on the back of the card? It's like, see, nothing against those people, but you're taking it just another step too serious.
Mike, let me guess. Did that person go, if I would have made the card, which is always like, but you're never going to do it. I guarantee you, even if you were given the money and the equipment to make these cards, you would never make a card. Those are always the people that are getting down on you. People who criticize you about stuff like that, like your magazine covers, they will never once do something like that ever in their lives. Yep,
Right.
they love to criticize, though. It always cracks me up. It's like the people who criticize never actually do anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
End of rant. It is
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know what it is about that.
So
I
Even
just
the
counter
group-
criticize. I don't criticize
So-
anybody.
No. So, Glenn, did you beat Mega Man 2? It looked like I was
Yep.
trying to pay attention.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
What are you playing now? Is that Mega Man 4?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
I don't know if Estelle's joining us. I'm trying to talk with him. Maybe we'll get him on. Who's on the show for next week, Glenn?
I do believe Stephen Wagner.
Stephen Wagner, arcade player, mostly.
Amazing
That's the thing.
arcade player with like a resume like a mile long.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve's pretty good.
He's always in top 3 or top 5 at the Fun Squad tournaments I go to.
Yes, he's amazing.
And
He's
I'm
a-
always number 42. I don't know why, but like 3 years in a row, I'm 42nd place.
All the
I
time.
want to. I
At
want to
least you
get
got
him
your
to
spot,
play.
man.
I want to get him to play some Bosconian.
You come to my house.
Oh, I'll be there in October.
No, I got a Bosconian cocktail table that plays about 3 minutes, and then it just freaks out.
So Rudy, when are you gonna play Punch Out again?
Who knows?
Or do we
It's
have
gonna be
to
a
pay
while,
you
man.
Do we have to pay you 4 figures to do it?
At least.
At least
That's a lot of prepping, man. That's a lot of prepping involved.
there is. I mean,
I-
what you were
they
trying
threw
to
me-
do there,
they-
man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
they threw me off.
That's crazy.
They threw me off. They pushed it a week back, and then they pushed it another week back. It wasn't going to happen.
Okay.
I wasn't ready. It
So,
wasn't going to happen.
Are you gonna do Moon Patrol, Glenn, or no?
It depends if it.
Oh wow, it worked.
Hey, I think we have Moon Patrol.
Nah,
Who's playing?
this is Dan. I
Oh,
was, just,
Dan?
I was just messing
Oh,
around with
Dan.
Skype.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, you can be the fill-in if you don't mind.
I'm not that good at it though.
Neither is Glenn, but it was just a friendly
Neither is
competition.
Glenn. Yeah. I can get through the champion course a couple times.
That's
about
pretty
it.
good.
Now Moon
Oh,
Patrol, there's no joystick, right? It's only buttons, the arcade version.
It's a joystick. No, it's a joystick and a couple buttons, I thought.
Okay, wow, I'm wrong again.
based on actual events? Is this something that happened?
I can.
No, I'm not.
I can set up.
I'm just kidding. It's just the Walmsley.
I figured if people want to see Moon Patrol, it's like I have it. But I've never actually done a share screen with Skype before. So.
Yeah, it's filled with new opportunities today.
Yep.
That's what live TV is about.
You okay now?
Let me see if I can get my camera going here, and we will get some Moon Patrol going on. The old moon off.
So, Bill, you're still there, I think. Do you have a favorite game of your own that we need to take photographs of you playing it?
Well, I suppose my favorite game is 1943, the arcade.
Awesome.
Nice.
I've been playing that for years. I almost failed college because of that game. I just loved it so much. I think my high score, unofficial, I got it at the Fun Spot arcade, but of course no one was watching, is 2.2 million. This year, there was a ref from Orcade was there watching, and so I got 1.7 million. So that makes me number 2 on that machine. Brian Koo is the guy that is ahead of me.
What did he get?
I think he's 2.1 million.
William, I had a question for you. Can you play 1942 and even stand the music?
I mock that machine anytime my friend Aaron plays it. This is the music. Tweet, 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 tweet. It's just ridiculous. It's a guy blowing a whistle.
You should hear it on the NES.
Oh my God, yeah.
I do.
I swear to God, that's what it does the whole game.
What did we play on? We played 1943 on.
Yes, on the NES.
Yeah, so we were playing 93. I like those. Those games are awesome, and that's where maybe Estelle would come on. We talk about Galactic Attack. It's pretty much the same type of game, vertical shooter. I do have a program note here about tomorrow. Somebody in the classic community here. Let me find his name. Ronnie. Where are you? Sorry. Ronnie Del Blanco. He is doing a 24-hour marathon tomorrow on Titanfall for Xbox One. And of course, I mean, you go on Twitch, everybody's doing that. But it's for charity. The charity is Able Gamers Foundation, which makes video games and gamings more accessible to people with disability. He's doing it in honor of his younger brother, Robert, who actually tragically passed away on May 2nd after he was hit by a car while riding a wheelchair home. So, I mean, he was playing video. So this kind of goes to what his brother used to love to do, and these people are, making it easier for disabled people to play some video games, So he's going to be doing a stream tomorrow. There's some sponsors that will be giving away. I'm sorry. We got some things from Electronic Arts, Prima Games, Evil Controllers, Games Beats website, and Arcade Party. They're giving away some prizes for during the run of the 24 hours for the donations. So if you can check it out, you just Facebook Skizzle for Able Gamers. I'll spell that. It's facebook.com/SKIZZLE, the number 4, ABLE Gamers. And that's where you can find the information. So 24 hours of Titanfall tomorrow here on Twitch. And yes, that was the longest. That was the longest program note ever. Thanks.
All right, Dan, you ready?
So we have Daniel here play face off for Moon Patrol.
Oh, it's on now. Can you see the screen all right? I can't do the screen cap thing.
We only see Punch Out still.
Oh, hang on, let me fix this then.
So what's the next issue of Arcade Culture, Bill?
Oh, wow. I never even thought of that. I was
There's so
trying to
many
do.
pictures you have.
I was trying to do. Well, I guess the next one was going to be group photo, But the problem is it's sideways, or it's a different perspective than. It wouldn't fit on a magazine cover, so I'll have to think up something.
Yeah, you gotta use one of your vertical pictures.
Yeah, and
Something.
I never know what's going on in the magazine. It's a process. I throw a picture down and I just start thinking goofy things, and it takes about an hour or two to start writing, and they're usually pretty funny. I could sit, because I brought about 100 copies with me. I could sit there and go through each and every one and laugh out loud as I get my own jokes, right? So some people they might not understand. What is this one about? What does that mean? But I get the jokes and I like explaining them to people.
Do you ever just put a picture on there and then throw something on that's a total inside joke to just you?
Yes, the very first one I ever did was about me, right? I mean, how inside of a joke is that? And no one knew who I was or anything, right? But I said, he traveled to Fun Spot for a hug. Now he's a superstar. So what happened? Richie Knuckles had a auction, and I won the auction. He was auctioning off on a show, one of the Kong Off #1 marquees. And I demanded a hug from him as well to sweeten the pot, right? And 2 bags of Cheez-Its. If you've ever heard him screaming out 2 bags of Cheez-Its,
Yep.
That's where it's from. So at Fun Spot, I met him. He gave me my marquee, he gave me the Cheez-Its, and he gave me a massive hug. So that's what I put on the cover. It was but yeah, there's lots of covers like that with inside jokes. What I've done lately, there's I don't want to mention names, but there's people that just don't like me, right? I'm a nice guy, but I rub certain people
like you.
the wrong way. And so I'll put in Swedish at the top of some of the magazine covers, little hidden messages just for them. And I know that they're the type of people that would go translate that and figure out, I can't believe he wrote that to me, So.
Oh man.
Why don't they like you? I mean, is there are they just mad?
He's Canadian.
I'm gonna call back in, guys.
I'm on the cover.
It's one of those things where it harkens back to Rudygate, right? Rudy has people that love him and he has people that hate him. He's a polarizing person, and I put him on the cover, so that meant to some people that I was his biggest supporter, right? And so they just have a hate on for me for that. It's ridiculous.
Don't worry, I got the same deal going on. It's like,
Hate
you're
on.
friends with that guy?
Exactly. So I had a falling out with the makers of the No Princess in the Castle movie, right? And they were all involved in attacking me and attacking arcade culture and boycotting, and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous beyond belief, because I'm a huge backer of certain members of that group's other Kickstarter projects, and you guys are fools, you attack your supporters. So anyway, I'll put messages like hot castle women, but I'll write it in Swedish, because hey, I think women are hot, and if they're in a castle, I'll write. So that's just a silly way of getting back at people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, they're being silly about not associating, and that's the kind of and that's back to the trading event, or the trading card event, and that's where that sense would be gone, because the internet creates that tension a lot of the time. I mean, especially if somebody mistypes. For example, I am probably the worst at English, right, Nick? I mean, nobody can. So I know I can be misunderstood but still, the reason we're all associated with each other in the classic arcade and gaming Twin Galaxies virtual world from the past is that, we all love the idea of competitive video gaming, and that trading card event was the prime example. Everybody came to enjoy everybody's company, and there's disagreements with people there, but we still all put that aside and had a great time and traded pieces of paper around,
Absolutely. When I was on stage taking the photos, and I was listening to people give their own little speeches and that, and I don't want to name names or anything, but there were people who they had tears in their eyes and their voice was breaking, and they had a history with other people, but it was all forgiven. It was quite a moving moment. It was great to see people who had a falling out years ago able to reconcile.
Yeah.
Well, and it is amazing. I mean, you just hide behind the shroud of the internet. Once you see people in person, for the most part, it usually breaks down. I mean, it is the problem too. I mean, we all know each other for the most part because of the internet, but at the same time, the internet is what causes all the fights. So it's kind of a strange dichotomy.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the internet, I would have never met Glenn.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have been at the same place, but we would have never talked because of the internet. And now look, we're doing a show and you're playing Moon Patrol.
One of my favorite games of all time.
That is quite
What's
the
Dan's
exploit
score
you got
at?
going on there.
What's Dan's score at?
We can't really see it.
It's hard for us to see it.
Dan, can you hear us? Can you tell us your score? Or are you concentrating too hard?
Here we go, baby.
Concentrating too hard.
I don't think he's got to that part in the game where he's like memorized everything on the ground. It's those damn saucers.
What are you playing Moon Patrol on? The tablet or?
Looks like a laptop. He's playing on MAME.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't get the screen cap to work.
No, it's good.
No, that might be the official way here. So.
Yeah, if I get 1.5 million on this run, we can use it as a submission. Which ain't
but don't make sure you play any game music because Twitch might not archive this episode if you have any video game noise. Oh, that's what me and Nick were going to talk about just a little bit.
I think I'm trying to think of a way around.
Yeah, that's a very good, valid point on some things.
Yeah,
and we already know that NES Contra, they will mute your stuff for playing that game.
Yeah, because of the music. So if we sing it right now, will they mute this broadcast? Let's find out. Oh, you're a little early.
Copyright violation has been detected.
So, we'll see if it'll be muted. We'll see if this broadcast will be muted now. We'll find out. It's archive broadcast.
I don't think you're pitch perfect enough to get it muted.
I don't know.
It was close. It was close, buddy.
Dude, it's Google. Google is in control.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Just easy way to do it.
Now that you put it that way.
Hey, once Google and Facebook come together, I mean, we're just doomed. Just close the internet off. When Facebook and Google get together, it's going to be Terminator. I mean, there's only one person who can save us. John Connor. Oh, so we got about 8 minutes here left on our show.
Yep.
Really got thrown off tonight, but that's what technology does to everybody. And we're missing our guest. We'll bring him. We'll for sure make sure get him working. Maybe we'll fit him in next week. But we'll have Stephen Wagner on next week. Maybe he'll be playing some Bosconian or whatever he has available to him. Because that's a game I would gun for world record. Marathon
yeah, me
and
too.
Marathon and 5-man.
Wouldn't that be great if like me, you and Steve got together at a venue and played Bosconian together?
Okay, first on the same machine, I'm hoping, because to get 3 Bosconian machines in the same place is going to be hard enough as it is. Or 3 working ones.
Yeah.
I actually bought my Bosconian to turn it into a Galaga cocktail.
Are you kidding me?
No, I love Galaga, and I wanted a cocktail table, and I saw a Bosconian for $200. I'm like, there's my Galaga table. I know, but after I learned that Bosconian, it's not a better game. That they started turning Bosconians into Galagas because it's the same pin set. Then I figured, maybe I should keep it.
Yeah, Basconian's a way better game than Galaga. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Galaga has always been.
You're not going to touch on that one? No.
They're both equally inferior to 1943.
Yeah. Can
No, I'm only
1943 you play two players on arcade?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. See, I love co-op games more than anything in the.
The neat thing about that game in co-op is if you fly your plane, if you're low on gas and you run out of gas, you lose the game, right? So if you're low on fuel, you hover over the number 2 guy and you suck fuel out of his plane. So it evens them out. So it can be almost competitive, but you probably aren't going to live very long doing that.
No, I look at those games as team play all the time. They're not yeah, competitive 1943 doesn't, two guys playing on the same. I'm going to get this guy. Nah, I think that's see as long as you can go.
It's like playing Golden Axe and fighting each other. Nowhere. Which is the way to play.
I've used 3 continues and I haven't used any magic yet. Now, if you're playing Golden Axe and you could use magic on the other player, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Like, I want to.
Whoever gets the, whoever is.
Yeah, terrorists or flare. I don't know these things.
Oh, that's what
Yeah. Oh.
So then what's your favorite arcade game? What's your favorite arcade game of all time, Mike?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd still say Galaga.
Galaga?
Yeah. It's a game where I can play over and over and over again and still, even though it is the same thing over and over again, it doesn't seem to get old for me. It might get like Basconian. I mean, when I got it, man, I played that thing like every day, 3 hours. But now it's just I only can play it so often, So it depends on the game,
I almost got a million once on Basconian, and then the bar closed. I was like 960,000 points, and then I had to quit because which was sad because then like a week later they got rid of it and replaced it with Cruisin' USA.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite games too. I know it's not a classic one, but
to replace a Basconian and a Dig Dug.
Hey, they replaced Basconians with Galaga, so
I'm not knocking Cruisin'.
Actually,
how could
another favorite? Well, I'll give you a close second right now. Is Food Fight.
Oh,
Food
God,
Fight
that's
is
a great one.
That's a great game.
Tesla actually went to go pick up a Food Fight cab.
What about Bionic Man? I always thought that was amazing. Nothing?
No, I guess not. I guess you're the only one, dude. I
thought the Nintendo version was awful, but
Well, we got I guess just 3 minutes here or so until the next show comes up. I'm not prepared to tell you what the next show is, but I believe it's I think it's TG Gaming Live. I think it's not League of Legends, is it? I can't see it right now where I'm at. I'll find out.
Hold on, stay there.
Okay, you'll find out. It's right there. But next week we'll most likely have Steven Wagner on us. Hopefully we will have the problems that we had today. And maybe we'll have some more news about world records and hopefully the competitive scene. No, Nick, you got to look down a little bit. You got to click the other window.
I did cover the IGB. I don't know if you knew about that. The IGB, the Internet Gaming Bash of the Year. Donkey Kong forums. They had like all the scoreboards and all the competitive sites gather up their best players and just go at it at a ton of games. And Donkey Kong Forum won with Retro Uprising taking second and Galloping Ghost Arcade taking third. Dan was a part of it. Dan tore up some Anteater and some Pepper too. But I think next year Twin Galaxy should start up a team and compete.
Yeah. No, that's specific time. Well, thanks everyone for joining us.
Yeah,
we'll keep streaming here. FGC Live is next. And sorry for the late start. We just had some sign in because we do this show remote. We're not in the Twin Galaxies Live studio. We do this every week. So please like us on Facebook. Please come back next week. Please give us comments. Tell us you like us, you hate us. It doesn't matter. We just want your feedback. Actually, we love hate. We love hate.
Hate mail.
Yeah, I love it. Hate mail is my greatest. Or Facebook messages where you tell me you have a problem with me. Those are even better. I read those on the air every week.
I've never met you and I know nothing about you, but I have a serious problem.
I have a serious problem with you because you like Gallagher better than Bosconian. If you have a problem with me, please send me a message. For my host, thanks to Bill for joining us here tonight and staying with us the whole 2 hours. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Glenn for
picking up our slack.
keeping the show going, and that's what you're kind of here for. If we can't sign in, you can keep the show going. Thanks to Dan, who's beating Glenn in Moon Patrol. I don't know if that's true or not. So
Probably.
yeah,
Dan's a machine.
yeah. And for my host, Nick Houslander, and I think we're already out, so it doesn't matter. Peace. Bye. Yeah, we're out. They're on the transition.
It's a cold stop.
I don't know how that went, Glenn, but hopefully next week's different. So
Yeah.
I'll see you. Yeah, they're on their PSA, I believe, or PSA. Oh, we're not on live. Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, we're still good. I'm sorry.
Are we still live?
We might be. They're telling us we are. Oh man, we'll get this figured out for next time.
We didn't say anything.
Oh, we have 4 minutes left. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're still going a little bit, but oh man. Oh, well, here, let me finish the outro. For my house, Nick Houslander, and I'm Mike Sroka, and we're going to run credits for the next 4 minutes, of course. I guess in terms of classic stuff, it looks like tomorrow night on the Twin Galaxies Live, and I did not know that Arcade Culture is going to be on Saturday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, with Richie Knuckles. His show is coming to the Twin Galaxies Live network. I don't know if network's the right word to use. I haven't been instructed, but he'll be here tomorrow night. He'll probably be talking about the Icon event as well and all the good fun we had there. So, Nick, what are you doing this weekend? What video games are you playing this weekend?
Oh, shoot. The ones I always play. Bionic Commando, Mary Kate and Ashley Fashion Adventure. That's always the best one.
That's a good classic game.
Classic. They were like two.
PlayStation 1, right?
No, the arcade version of it.
There's an arcade version?
It's like 1988.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How many machines are there?
A couple.
Really?
All
Wow.
in Germany, though, dude.
That's weird.
I don't know. They just love them over there.
I'm gonna play Britney's Dance Beat for the PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Again, the dance. Everybody's like, "Oh, Mike, you like playing the Guitar Hero?" And there's Just Dance out. I'm gonna go back to the PlayStation 2. Is that considered classic yet? Probably
No.
not. It's not been 10
years.
years. Okay.
20 years.
All right.
So Sega Saturn is officially classic.
Okay. So I'm gonna play a modern system. Play Britney's Dance Beat.
That's
Be
pretty
sweet.
cool, man.
Better than those DDR games for sure.
Oh, definitely. Those games are crap. I mean, they're awesome.
I happen to love.
What's that?
What was that?
2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
I happen to love DDR.
No, so do
I like the.
Me and Glenn, was it me and you that were playing that game? I can't remember. I was playing with someone.
What's that?
Did me and you play DDR in Milwaukee?
For you weren't there the year that I played DDR.
Okay, I was gonna say I played it with someone.
I was really hammered, and they talked me into playing DDR.
Yeah, I was as well. I was really good at it too.
You played Cubert hammered pretty well too.
You were great at Cubert, man.
Yeah, I was playing that with a bottle of whiskey in my hand, whooping you chumps.
Yeah, you did, man. It wasn't even close.
Doubled her.
Yeah,
1 minute remaining. 1 minute remaining.
We have 1 minute, so I guess we can say goodbye again.
End of the period.
1 minute left in regulation, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
I love that voice.
No, they won't.
But that's totally fine.
So FGC is up next. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you next week if everything goes well. But thank you for joining us. And like I said, always tune it in here. Always chime in on the open channels. Always join in here on the Twin Galaxies live channel. The best part is the community and you being involved as well. So for my hosts, Glen Updike, Nick Houslander, and myself, Mike Sroka, we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
See you.
Take care.
We probably still have 20 minutes or 20 seconds. I'm sorry, 20. Yeah.
Seconds remaining.
What a great first episode.
Goodbye, everyone.